You can ride it, he's 80 now. What is it? Before school starts. Right, he's on the school schedule. 82.
You're kidding.
Right after, he just started.
Wow.
So he was on.
Anyway, you didn't have to record that.
Things we can do without, maybe you can do better without, but.
Well,
Right.
hey, perfect.
Right.
My head.
Sorry.
You want to okay. This is.
I wouldn't been able to do the thing. I just talked about Mart Health and she brings chocolate chip cookies right over.
Oh, they're the
Yeah.
best. There's
Horrible.
pretzels. That's what's not bad. Pretzels are.
Well-
Pretzels are healthy.
Welcome, everybody, tonight to our Morgan City Council work meeting. Appreciate everybody being here and let's move forward. We're going to start off with Lance because he loves this kind of stuff, so.
Yes.
So several months ago, we got an email from the trust, which is basically the insurance company for the city, requesting or asking about our sidewalk replacement and maintenance policy for the city, which I'll be honest, one of them things they talk about in classes and we've gone over, and it's been on my list of things to do for many, many years. And once they requested, I thought, well, now is definitely the time. So basically the purpose of it is they just want to see what we're doing, how we're tracking, what kind of records we're keeping, what we're doing as far as our sidewalk and trying to keep up on it. Maintenance, inspections, and all of that stuff. As I actually, when we got this all, they sent a sample program, and this is something we've been working on with Kyler with Jones and Associates. I've been working on this anyways for several years now, getting this kind of dialed in to where we could do this and put projects together. And So we were already well into this, so I actually kind of retailored the sample program that they sent to fit what we had already done. And basically what we've called out is they want to know how much you have, material types, installation dates, ADA features. They want to know when you're going to do your inspections and how you're going to do them. And they want record keeping and tracking and all of that stuff. And what they're looking for is, ADA compliance, lips, cracking, spalling, trip hazards, and how you're going to rate it. And then how you're prioritizing and what you're doing to do all the replacements and stuff. Also be able to track work orders and all that if someone calls and complains, and how you respond and what you do. So we've gone through, and I don't know if anybody wanted to see it, we could pull it up, or if anybody wanted to see what we've done on our GIS system that you can get with me and I can show you, or we could pull it up. But we basically got the city broke down into segments of sidewalk. And on each of those segments, we broke it down kind of around school areas will be an annual inspection. Residential neighborhoods and stuff will be every other year. And when we go in and do that inspection, we enter that date, it will actually pop up in 2 years and it'll change that segment red. So we know that it's due again. Right now, you pull it up and it shows every single point we have entered on the map that's a repair, and they're all labeled as a watch or a media hazard or a moderate hazard. And we've said we can go through and filter through them, and every single one of them, almost all the new ones, have a picture associated with it. So we can go through, we can look. We've got that for all of our records, what it was. And when we're done, we've got about 30 areas. We've just started a sidewalk project today. We put out a little project bid with some local contractors, and they actually got it started today. So once we go and inspect all that, we'll take pictures of the repaired work. And anyways, so you can pull up and see how many feet we have that are a watch, how many repairs, how many lift areas we have, how many urgent areas. And, we're making a pretty good dent in the urgent and the worst of the worst with this project. It's by no means everything. I'm sure we're going to get some neighbors say, well, you fixed that, but you didn't fix this. But this is making a good dent in it for our first year. So anyway, so then on each of these segments, you can go click on it. It'll actually bring up and show you the percentages of what is a watch, if it's an area that needs to be removed and replaced, or moderate or urgent. Once we do repairs and we enter it in as repaired, it'll actually show the percentage that has had repair work done. And they're actually working on it now. Tyler's working on it. He's actually working on to where I'll be able to go in and put in pricing on a square foot of sidewalk. Then as we're putting these projects together and we start switching stuff to a targeted area that we're going to do, I'll be able to watch on the edit thing, and it'll do a running total of how much dollars we're at that estimated cost. Anyways, Jason with the trust, when he came up and looked at it, he just said, he says they understand you're never going to have everything perfect. There's always going to be problems. But he says, if you ever do end up in court, someone trips and falls, he says there is a governmental type immunity where if you can show you're doing all this and you've got all these records and all this stuff, a lot of times because someone tripped over a lip that was 3/8 of an inch or 3/4 of an inch instead of the 1/2 inch that is ADA requires, you can say, look at all we're doing. It's not perfect, but we got a good system in place and we're really trying our best. So that's the purpose of that. And they want that adopted, and we're doing it as a resolution. So anyways, questions, comments, concerns on that?
Yeah, Lance, so I went through this today. So this is Morgan City's program here, right? This is not
Well-
We're not contracting with her.
This is Jones and Associates,
Okay,
our engineer. They've got a guy who I tell him my harebrained idea. Somehow he puts it into the computer. It's like magic for me. And so this is all Jones and Associates that's been helping us. Oh, yeah, that's been helping us with this. Well, no, this is our program. I modified, and with the help of Chase, we wrote this.
and, okay, so this is our program.
Yeah, this is our program. Yeah, this is what we are adopting and doing, and we're going to
So
follow.
we're not paying someone every year to
No,
look at this and tell us what we.
no, this is us. I mean, there will be some expense, like right now, we did a Street Logics a couple of years ago where they came in and did an entire sidewalk scan. I a little bit felt like I was misled on what it actually did. It gives us hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of points, but it gives you also a video of an entire stretch of sidewalk, and there's nowhere to take that information. Like, it just gives you a recommendation on replace this entire street. Well, when you actually go walk it, maybe it's only 40 feet, but the technology's not there yet for what they're doing for it to really be valuable. I wish, like I said, I think it was kind of misleading on what I felt they could do for it with us. You still have to go out, manually, physically walk it with a level and a tape measure and look at it, which realistically, it's quite the daunting task, but we're really hoping as we get doing these inspections, once you look at our GIS now, obviously there's nothing done, but once we start finishing this project, we'll walk it. We'll have some areas over a few years. We're hoping to get dialed into where we got individual neighborhoods that throughout the summer are popping up red. And we know, okay, we got a neighborhood now instead of the entire city. So it'll feel a little less daunting, I guess, or overwhelming when it'll just take some time to get it kind of zeroed in on our areas like that.
Are these pictures of Morgan City?
No, they're actually some of the stock photos that
Okay.
they sent with their program.
The template that you've used comes from the trust.
Yes.
Okay.
And Jason with the trust looked at it and he was quite pleased. He said, I don't know that I've seen anyone with between our GIS and our tracking and the program. He said, I think you're as good or better than what anybody's got. So
Knowing the work that you've been doing, it appears to me as I look at the program that you're already doing a lot of what it says. Do you anticipate changing or doing different what you've already been doing?
this a little bit is tying us and I think it'll help with it'll help with the inspections where it's gonna pop up and we know this is the area we need
Just
to go
the
walk.
documentation.
And the documentation,
Okay.
like I've always, until this time when we tried to do a sidewalk project, it was all handwritten notes and addresses.
Yeah.
And when we sent this sidewalk project out to bid, it was a PDF that shows this. And then this is actually a print off of all the locations that I printed off, but there's addresses, locations, pictures, and then the bidders had all the information they need. They could look at the pictures, they could go see where it was, and we're able to track it all now.
You turn this in, you wouldn't anticipate, I mean, you're turning it into the trust or we're adopting it and then it's available.
Yeah, they will be available then. Yeah, unless there's a problem.
I mean, is the
take care of
potential
it.
there that they would look at it and say,
Yeah.
oh, that's a mess, so your rates are
Well,
going up?
No, I don't think so. No, I
Not
don't
in
think
that kind
so.
of shape.
No, we just, the purpose of all this is just if we end up in court,
Right.
someone trips or falls, that's where this will
Have a
come into
maintenance
play. Yeah,
Program that, so part of the key is following it and make sure
Yeah,
your
exactly,
inspections are
and-
done.
and it just makes it easier and I think it'll help make it, it's just so hard to know where did we do and what have we done. But now it's gonna show us.
Mhm.
It'll pop up red and
Yeah,
say,
it's
this is
documented.
where
Sure.
you need to go and this is where you need to look next.
your street sign program is the same? Same
Yes,
concept?
very, very similar. It's a little less, this is another thing that they recommend. We have this, the trust didn't talk about this now, but in all the sign classes and trainings I've been to, they recommend that you have the sign, a similar thing for signs. I just thought, while we're doing this, let's just get it done. And it actually works out good because we just recently put to bid a sign project where we're going to do a blanket replacement
Mhm.
of a third of the city for the next 3 years, and everything will be new. Basically, it's a similar thing. Its inspections are a little less regular or stringent. What we'll do is when we put up, starting in July, we get our round of signs for a third of the city. We'll install somewhere, probably down at the transfer station, a direct sunlight, a stop sign, a speed limit sign, like a yellow school sign, and then a address street sign in direct sunlight. Then we'll take 3 identical signs, put them away in the shop. Realistically, with the 10 to 12 year lifespan of this diamond grade material we chose to go with, realistically, we don't need to worry about it for 3 or 4 years. But all the dates, the installation dates are all on the signs. So we'll have to watch a little more and remember, okay, it's been 4 years. Let's go pull the signs out of the shop. Let's go hang them next to the ones that have been in sunlight. And at night we'll come down and shine the headlights on them and see the difference. There's some pretty expensive and really, really time consuming reflectometers. You can go to each individual sign and do it. But most places are just doing,
Yeah.
they find that the cost of doing a blanket over a 30-year city is cheaper than your labor and time to start testing individual signs. And oh, this is faded, but this one isn't. And then you got a mess of new next to old. And so, in 3 or 4 years, we'll pull them out. We'll go look. Okay, no change. Another few years, we'll pull it out. Oh, there's maybe a little bit of fading. Then we know, okay, yearly, we need to start driving these areas at night. We need to be looking at them. And when you start seeing that noticeable change where they're starting to lose that reflectivity,
People aren't stopping.
yeah, hopefully we're getting, 10, 12 years out of these. So,
With the adoption of both programs, it appears to me there's some enhanced inspection, just because you've said you're going to do it and how you've got to
Yeah.
do it. Will there be any additional costs or significant costs that you see after they're adopted?
not really.
Okay.
I mean, this is stuff we're doing anyways, I mean, with this round of sign replacement, there's not a whole lot of time in that. You're kind of basing it on the time. Like when I started, so this has been 9 years. Before I started, Bernie Carter did half the city. Then my first summer here, I did the other half of the city. So we've known it was 9 years, and we're starting to get to the end of the life of the signs. And you can see as you go out that they're starting to it's starting to get noticeable. So
Sure.
How many square feet of sidewalk are you doing this first go around?
we're doing about 2,000. And when you look at, and this is we're talking, and we're still in the process of trying to get everything walked, and it'll change. But when you start looking, and this is even you were talking just stuff that's a watch where there's some very, very light Spalding. We've got I think there was like 12,000 square feet total between our urgent, our moderate, and our watch. So 2,000 square feet out of that, I feel like it's a pretty good dent in it for 1 year and about a $22,000 project. So we got had 5 bidders. We requested bids from 6 local concrete guys. We got 5 bidders, and I feel we got very good pricing, and I'm excited to have the contractor on board that's doing it. It's a Black Ridge Concrete. They're over in North Morgan, and I think they'll do us a good job with it. So
So Lance, if, you know, if it's a 4-foot sidewalk, is it upgraded to a 5?
no, we don't want to get into messing with landscaping and all that. We're putting back what's there. So that is part of this. Like I mentioned, the Street Logic thing. Where like I say, it didn't really do what they led me to believe it was going to do. I'm probably over the next year going to, in addition to the sidewalk, I'm going to work with Utah LTAP. They will send out a group of engineering interns and actually come out and measure all our ADA ramps and check them for compliance and measure them and figure out what's good, what isn't good. And then we'll be able to take all their information and put it assigned with the ADA ramps to where we'll be able to click on ADA ramps. It'll pop it up and we'll be able to see overall their condition for the entire city. So
essentially what both of these are doing is things that you've kind of been doing all along, but now you're documenting.
yes, this is just, and even if we hadn't came out with this documentation on the GIS program, we didn't change anything with how we were going to do this. This is what I wanted it to do all along. We've been working towards. It's just, they want to see this saying, this is what we're doing, rather than it's just what we're doing.
Yeah.
So I'm going to speak for Gary here, since he's kind of quiet tonight. And that is, I mean, we say we're going to document, and that can help us in liability. If we don't do what we say we're going to do, I think it can backfire and be just the opposite. So on one hand, it's a real nice benefit, but on the other hand, now our feet are held to the fire. So
Yeah.
just make sure that we follow it.
Yeah. And it's like I say, this is something I've been, this is something we've been working towards getting, and so this is a good help to get us that final push to where, okay, this is what we're doing. And it worked out timing wise almost perfectly, because we were basically getting this GIS program to do what I wanted to, right at the same time they're saying, hey, we want to see this.
I remember meeting you on the
Yeah.
sidewalk a few years ago.
Yeah, that's when when I first was really pushing to get this going, and we've been working on it for that long, getting it.
Yeah, I think it's great that you can memorialize all of it.
Yeah, so I mean, timing wise, it couldn't have been any better for us, so.
It also helps our insurance premium. And so we have,
Mhm.
our insurance recognizes the value of the program.
It's factored in, yeah.
And so, yeah, so we have a checklist just on our insurance that has about 10 things on it that if we can get them all done, after 4 years, you get the 5th year of your entire premium discounted. So it's basically a 25% or 20% discount over 5 years. I mean, they're not gonna say don't pay us this year, but they'll discount it heavily. So 20% discount
Yeah,
over
that's
the
significant.
next, so it's a pretty good deal. But we're trying to get all 10, not like 9 out of 10.
Yeah.
That would be a bummer.
Thanks for your work on that.
Yeah, it's been awesome.
Seems like you've spent a lot of time on that.
Been really time consuming, but it's been good to get done and kind of out of our hair. And like I say, it's stuff we've been working towards anyways. And this has been probably the GIS and I think realistically it's probably been 3 or 4 years since I really got with Kyler and said, okay, here's what I want to do and here's how I want it to work. And we really started zeroing in on this. It's impossible to do it and track it without this.
So something you can do with a warm winter.
Yeah, we actually got a lot of that done this winter. If anybody wants to buy some road salt, I would love to clear out the shed a little bit more to put the snow plows in it, but
So there's a discount price?
I don't know. It's up to you guys. But
You got some salt for sale.
yeah, I would love, I think I bought 60 ton and I think we probably used maybe 10
Hmm.
all winter.
When was that?
Well,
Yeah.
I kind of plowed twice and I did salt stuff in North Morgan about 3 or 4 times. And we got some slush, but that was it all year, so.
Those times you didn't need to, but you did because,
A little
You had
bit
it.
of that. I wanted to remember how to do it, so.
yeah.
We have extra money in overtime too, but we're keeping it.
Yeah. It's about the dang way the way the year's going. I don't know. I don't think I don't think that things are not slowing down around here.
Yeah, yeah.
So
Even with growth, that'll add to your
yeah.
work.
And anyway, just while I'm here, a real quick update. We were gonna pave and do the walking path and Red Rock, do some overlay work next week, and I found out last night at about 6 o'clock that they neglected to tell me they were changing it, and that is happening the walking path tomorrow and the Red Rock subdivision next week, or I mean, Thursday. So we'll have a good chunk of our street maintenance project for the year done. And then we'll still have all the chip seals sometime in mid July when we really get the good warm days.
2 things real quick. That mean I can't walk the Mickelson Mile tomorrow morning?
If you're there early.
Okay. Secondly, it was interesting what you told me the other day on the chip seal over in the park and the striping. Didn't you tell me that even though it doesn't look like it, we've gained 6 parking stalls in the
Yeah.
park with the way that you've,
We did a slurry seal on the parking lot. It's flat, it doesn't drain, it holds water. Ideally, someday it would be great to go in and tear it out and get some profile built to it and make the water run off, but it was to where it needed a Band-Aid. So we did a slurry seal on it, and I
slurry seal.
yeah, I kind of made an executive decision. I've never liked, if anybody's been over in there were about 8 or 10 parking spots in the middle of the parking lot. I hated that because you got the mom with a cooler and a stroller and all the stuff trying to get it out in the middle of a parking lot. And the kids are walking out the front of the car right into the parking lot and into traffic. So I got measuring and doing the Google Earth thing, and I got looking and measuring and kind of doing the math in my head. And I'm like, all right, if we get rid of that middle thing and we do straight parking to the edges, then that way, when the mom's getting her stuff out and the kids go wander off between the cars, they're walking out onto the lawn. And so I think it's a lot safer. So I made an executive decision at 3 o'clock when the guys were starting to lay the striping out. I'm like, let's change this. And we actually did pick up 6 parking spots. And I think it's a safer way of doing it. So,
It doesn't look like there's more parking spots.
no,
But yeah,
there is. And so like I say, hopefully, we get 6 or 8 years out of this seal code. And then maybe down the road, we can look at going in and how do we fix that parking lot and get the water to drain off. And it just was never really done right whenever they did it. But this will give us the contract. We did a crack seal with it, and they were confident that we could get, at least 6, 7, 8 years out of it. So
I agree with you. It looks a whole lot safer to me.
yeah, I think it'll be good. So
He still called me, but he did all the homework on it already, so.
every once in a while,
Kids in the game, let's.
every once in a while, I'll call Matt, our engineer. I do this with Gary sometimes. I say, Gary or Matt, hey, what do you think about this? And they'll say, okay, well, that's good. And I'll be like, good, because we're already doing it. So anyways,
He's the best attorney you've got in the city.
would you call me that? Yeah, if anybody wants to have a field trip or a tour of what we're doing on that GIS stuff, just get a hold of me and you can come over and I'd be happy to show it to you if anybody's got any questions or wanted to see it. So
Thank you.
Appreciate the work.
thank you, guys.
Thanks a lot.
A quick comment, Lance does a great job. And
Yeah.
putting this together is just a fantastic thing. It's a good thing. It's something that needed to be done. The trust is concerned about a case out of Salt Lake where Salt Lake paid $220,000, I think it was, in in fees to a lady who tripped on a sidewalk. And this is how close it was. They had called, she had called, or they had called about the sidewalk, the business that it was in front of. About a short time, very short time before she tripped. They went out and marked it. And when they marked it, they were going to be back in 2 weeks. Well, they didn't actually arrive back within that 2 week period of time, and ended up in having her trip. And just that little space of time, even though it was marked and it sidewalks, adding to what Dave said, sidewalks are strict liability. And so cities are responsible for sidewalks. The thing that we do as a result of what Lance is doing right now is we diminish what we pay in damages. So if we've got all our records, we've got everything in place, we don't pay as much when it comes to, we just pay the actual, whatever it might cost for a broken arm, that type of thing, but we don't pay the exorbitant damages that other cities pay when they don't have a plan in place. And to Dave's point also, it is a two-edged sword on most things. In that one of the biggest questions we had up in Layton was whether or not to fence around the dam up there. Like you've got the Mickelson Mile and you're going, should we fence all the way along the Mickelson Mile? And the answer is, unless it's governed strictly by a strict liability decision of the court or by state law, you're better off a lot of times not putting those things in there, because once you put the fence in there, if somebody cuts through the fence or makes a hole in the fence, then all of a sudden you're responsible for the breach of the fence. And if a little kid gets down through the breach, the city would be responsible for that. Whereas if it's left open, there is no liability for that. So
beware.
yeah, it's kind of an interesting distinction, but strict liability is only in a couple different situations, and sidewalks are one of them. So.
And as Gary was saying, when I went down, as soon as I Ty forwarded the email, I went down and talked to Kyler down at their office. We went over it. We looked at where we were at with our stuff, what we wanted, kind of how we wanted to go, and mesh the two together. He says, yeah, you're the first person I've actually talked to, but he says, I've had about 10 cities forward this same request to me. So there was a lot of places that this went out to wanting to see this from other cities. So
For sure.
Did you,
He's great.
did you tell us a story once upon, I'm sorry, as I recall, you told us a story, I think it was you that was telling the story about, was it down on it was on the Jordan River? And there was a kind of a little bit of a waterfall there that a child or somebody had got caught in an undertow. Was that you? And they had drowned. And they said that the problem was that the city had put a sign up about the danger of the waterfall, but over the years it had overgrown, and so it couldn't be read any longer. And I think it was you saying that if they would have been better off if they had not put a sign up at all,
That was another really good example.
because they put the sign up and it become unreadable because of vegetation, and so that made them liable for.
Yeah.
I think that was you that was
That's
telling.
true.
It was.
Yeah, that was,
That.
I've told you a lot of stories.
Well, some of them are true.
Storytellers.
Yeah. Yeah.
No, thank you. Lance.
man. Have a good one. And just for your happy thoughts, I'm gonna move you closer up to the start of the active camp.
I'm going to stick around for us.
All right, let's adjourn this meeting. Does anybody need a break? Pass a cookie?
Pass them around. Pass some cookies out.
Can we be here on these other meetings?
Look at that.
Yeah.
Jeff is hoarding them.
Little Sheridan, I'm working them around.
Okay. Just as long as they get over here.
I'll wait a minute. What is first? Is it RDA or MBA?
Yeah,
NBA,
it's
isn't it?
reasonable.
NBA's at 6:30, 6:30. RDA is what time? 6:45.
So now they sell it. Yeah, I like the lemon better, but yeah, but nonetheless, the strawberry is okay.
What you do is you find somebody.
You're right.
Oh, now I've sent him away.
No, it is good.
Pass those around.
Sorry.
Oh, you had your chance.
You were gone. Sorry.
Changed his mind.
Oh,
Yeah, I better have a cookie.
They do have parts.
he's definitely entitled to do that. so.
Kind of like my printer when I'm doing duplex, the page comes out and I go to grab it and it sucks it back in.
That's,
We need to order some of that.
Okay, let's, first off, we're okay down there.
Mhm.
Welcome everybody to our Municipal Building Authority meeting. It's
Okay.
2026 at 6:37. I'll look for a motion to have an approval of the meeting's agenda.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion to approve and a second. All in favor? Any opposed? Okay, Janet, that's unanimous. If we go to item 2, do we have any discussion or motion to approve the Municipal Building Authority meetings of June 24th, 2025?
Maybe just give Ty a minute to add anything that you need to.
On the minutes?
No, oh, you're talking about minutes still? I'm sorry.
Minutes.
Of June 24th.
June 24,
I
2025.
was like, I didn't read them, Dave.
Second, that again.
Thought we were doing thought we were in session.
Is there any discussion?
Yeah.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
Attention.
Okay, item 3, I'll need a motion.
Mayor, I will make a motion that we go into a public hearing concerning the adoption of a tentative budget for the Municipal Building Authority of Morgan City for the fiscal year beginning July 1, 2026 and ending June 30th, 2027, setting a date for the public hearing to adopt the final budget.
Second.
That was like the
We have a motion from Tony, a second from Dave. All in favor? Any opposed? Any discussion, or I don't have anybody
Should we discuss
public?
after the public hearing? Have Ty just give us a brief update on it after?
I will make a motion that would come out of the public hearing then.
I'll second.
Okay, we have a motion to come out of a public hearing and a second. All in favor? Any opposed? Okay, Janet, that's unanimous. Okay, let's move to the active agenda. A resolution adopting a tentative budget for the Municipal Building Authority of Morgan City for the fiscal year beginning July 1, 2026 and ending June 30th, 2027. And setting a date for a public hearing to hear interested persons prior to adopting a final budget. Resolution M 2617. So Ty, we'll turn it over to you.
Okay, so as you know, the Municipal Building Authority is the entity that owns our facilities. And our departments all lease the space that they occupy, so instead of the roads department owning its own building or the power department, then they lease the shop space and the office space by square footage from the Municipal Building Authority. And then that allows the Municipal Building Authority to do the upgrades and improvements on the buildings. And so the tentative budget just includes, and the external lease payments. So the Health Department and Health and Human Services and the county all lease space from the Municipal Building Authority. So we get a little extra revenue that way. This year, the budget just includes one increase in the capital outlay, and a lot of that is some of that's windows for the buildings, which we usually have about 100,000 every year that we spend on upgrading the lighting, or we did ADA doors and fix the restrooms and stuff like that this year, but the new budget kind of anticipates owning the poultry building. And so of that 400,000, it's anticipated that most of that would be match money. So we'll buy the building for 150, which is also on grant. So we won't 150 of that would get reimbursed by the grant, and then we would apply for a restoration grant, a historic preservation grant for the building, and we'd use that money for the match to renovate it. And then if we don't get a grant, then we just won't be spending the money. So it's there just in case that happens, but that's the plan for
So
the
your
money.
appropriation amount of the 236, yeah, that's just there to help you to balance the budget.
Balance the budget to account for the 400,
Yeah.
the one-time increase.
But if we don't get the income or the revenue, then you're not
Yeah. Then you
spending the
don't,
400, so.
correct.
Balances without that.
Is that the only change?
What's that?
Is that the only change or the only difference?
The main difference, yeah.
Biggest change.
Well, Mayor, I will make a motion. As soon as my screen comes back up, okay? I will make a motion that we adopt resolution M26-17, adopting a tentative budget for the Municipal Building Authority of Morgan City for the fiscal year beginning July 1, 2026, and ending June 30th, 2027, and setting a date for the public hearing to hear, to hear it. Interested persons prior to adopting a final budget. Sorry.
Second.
That was a no.
Second, okay, we have a motion and a second. I just have one question. Do we set that date in the motion?
Yeah.
Oops.
Yep. Good catch.
Which,
The
Janet
last
helped
meeting
me,
in
it
June.
was
23rd, is it?
June.
And I will add to that, motion that we set the date as June 23rd,
Yeah, June
2026.
Well, it's in there, Tony.
What's up?
It's in the resolution.
Yeah.
Public hearing is hereby set.
2027. But the date would be the 23rd, right?
June
For
23rd.
the public hearing to hear it. Okay, for the public hearing.
Okay. You still good on the second?
Yeah, feel good.
Okay, we have a motion to accept the Municipal Building Authority budget and tentative public hearing date of June 23rd, 2026. And a second by Jeff. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, thank you. Okay. Let's adjourn the Municipal Building Authority meeting, and let's have a motion to go into our redevelopment agency of Morgan City, May 12th, 2026. I need an approval of the meeting's agenda.
So moved.
Okay, we have a motion from Jeff, a second from Tony to approve the meeting's agenda. All in favor? Any opposed? Okay. The consent agenda, redevelopment agency minutes, December 9th, 2025. Is there any discussion on that, or do we need to move on and approve that?
Steve, I've read the minutes and moved to adopt the redevelopment agency minutes of December 9th, 2025.
I can second that.
Okay, we have a motion from Dave to approve the minutes of December 9th, 2025, and a second from Tony. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, Janet, that's unanimous. Okay, I'll entertain a motion to open a public hearing.
Mayor, I will make a motion that we open a public hearing concerning the adoption of a tentative budget for the redevelopment agency of Morgan City for the fiscal year beginning July 1st, 2026, ending June 30th, 2027, and setting the date for the public hearing to adopt the final budget. And I am assuming that tentative date would be the same, June 23rd.
I'll second that.
Okay, do we have a motion and a second? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
Public comments?
I will make a motion, we close the public hearing.
Second.
We have a motion to close the public meeting or public hearing. The tentative budget for the redevelopment agency of Morgan City, fiscal year July 1, 2026, and ending June 30th, 2027, with a
June 23rd.
how do you want to put that in a motion?
For the public hearing to adopt the final budget would be June 23rd.
Okay. And a second.
With a date for the public hearing to adopt.
I'll second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Clean that motion up, wouldn't
There's other meetings in bigger cities that this just doesn't move on like this.
Right. Gary's been to them.
I love living here.
Okay. Let's go to the active agenda and I'll take a motion to open. Do we need a motion there? Don't need a motion. Okay, let's go to
Yeah. Agenda.
active agenda. A resolution adopting a tentative budget for the redevelopment agency of Morgan City for the fiscal year beginning July 1, 2026, and ending June 30th, 2027. And setting a date for the public hearing to hear interested persons prior to adopting a final budget. Resolution R 2618. Is that a necessary thing we need to do?
What's that?
What I just,
We were just talking about Ty's lack of shoes.
Yeah.
he has permission.
Okay.
Had a toenail removed.
I can
Nothing like a knee or a hip,
We
you
could
know what I mean?
consider a pay raise if it helps.
Nothing, yeah.
You get you a nice bucket, put your foot in.
Yeah,
And there's no holes in his socks. Jamie will be happy with that.
Want me to go?
Yeah, just a
Good night.
brief
Oh, I was gonna.
overview.
I was gonna ask a question, but I'll.
Okay, so the RDA budget this year, balances, but in the 93,500 under capital outlay that will not be spent. We'll be paying back from now till 2029 when the RDA expires. Every year we'll pay back about that same amount back because we overspent on the plaza. What we kind of knew, that was part of the budget plan.
So that's the overspending then.
So this year we budgeted $1 million and we spent 1.6, but of that 1.6, we still need to do a journal entry to charge the sewer expenses to the sewer and the water expenses to the water. Because those were impact fee eligible upgrades because we added capacity to sewer and water and storm drain.
Okay.
And then roads. So the alleyway itself, the paving of the alleyway, not the plaza, just the alleyway. A lot of those expenses will get moved over. And so overall, the goal is to be just only about $300,000 or $400,000 in the hole that we can pay back over the next 3 years.
So is that, then the transfer from the general fund, the 300, is that why that's being moved into theirs to cover that?
That was part of this year's budget. And we
Right.
haven't, we might not have to move that money once we journal entry to the
So
other departments.
that it gives the appearance to me that the city, well, let me, two questions. The first one would be, if we did use that, would that be considered a loan from the general fund?
No, it'd just be a transfer.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then second question is, if it's an RDA, why is the city paying for all of it? Why wouldn't the others help contribute towards that
They would. So the others, meaning the county and the school
in the
district,
school district?
because in our agreement, they've already given us their portion of the property tax.
I
So-
see.
So their portions are already part of the 350 that we get.
But nonetheless, if we're in a deficit, we don't go to them and say, help us cover that deficit.
No, and that transfer would come out of roads, not, it would be general fund, but it would be road specific restricted funds that would apply to that project. So it's not transferring general
Yeah, that was a little
or
bit.
property. It's not transferring property tax.
Okay, that's
to
a
the
little
RDA.
bit interesting to me, a little bit odd.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay, that answers my question. But that being said, if we're 3 years bringing that back to a zero balance, we're basically not doing any more projects for 3 years.
Correct. Yeah.
Okay. Good comment or statement.
No, we've,
And the school and the city or in the county would, if you haven't told them, I guess you will eventually.
I do an annual report to them, and so I'll just tell them that in the annual report
Mhm.
that we did
It'll
some
be quiet.
deficit spending and we're just paying
Yeah.
it back,
It'll
so.
be quiet.
Yep.
Years.
Yep.
I think the good news is 3 years is a fairly short time to get
Yeah.
it taken care of.
Mhm.
It's plenty doable.
And the plaza was over the projection, but it's turning out to be pretty nice. I don't know if you've seen it. It's all lit up at night and we're just down to furniture now, so.
Gonna show it off on the, probably talk a little bit about
We
that
can-
later.
Yep.
So the tax increment monies that were 350,000, is that pledged to anything else or
The which?
the tax increment, the 350,000?
No, that's just the total budget that we have to work with.
Okay,
So that includes the total amount of property tax for the RDA boundary comes in at 350,000, and then we pay back 25% of that to each entity based on their portion.
okay.
So that's what the other line items, where it says payment to county and payment to school district. That's us paying them their portion back. So you can kind of see the difference there. Most of it goes back to the school. And then we keep whatever's left, which is the 93.
Which we can use to reduce that deficit.
Yep. Yep.
Okay.
We're just kind of working with the line items that we have available to us. So,
I mean, is the potential there that as property develops, that could increase?
Mm-hmm.
So it may be shorter than 3 years.
yeah, it's just proportionate to whatever the property tax value is. Yep.
Yeah, there's a couple of or at least a consideration right now anyway.
Yeah, yeah, and we just approved one of the lots in front of the hotel to get developed. And then
The Ryan and I thing.
the Ryan I thing, so.
In front of the hotel?
Mhm.
What is that for? Is it the
Planning Commission.
What's that?
You approved redevelopment, so someone applied or development
A
and,
building permit, yeah.
Okay.
We applied for a building permit.
oh, good.
Which lot?
Yeah, what's it? for?
West lot, So the one closest to the gas station,
Have they said what it's for?
a multi-use
Okay.
building, but
Office.
multi-use, but part of that's supposed to include a Domino's, but
Okay.
so I don't know how the,
Until the arches go up.
I don't know how the building will get split, but.
That's
On the west side?
Forever.
Mhm.
Yeah, that would be.
North.
I call it north.
North,
but
yeah,
okay,
northwest.
Okay,
Be the straight road north and south.
our city,
Gas
our
station.
city's born ski wampus, so,
Yep.
okay.
Mayor, I move that we approve resolution R 26-18, a resolution adopting a tentative budget for the redevelopment agency of Morgan City for the fiscal year beginning July 1, 2026, and ending June 30, 2027, and setting a date for a public hearing of June 23rd, 2026, to hear interested persons prior to adopting a final budget.
I'll second that.
Okay, we have a motion to adopt resolution R 2618 and set a date for June 23rd, 2026. See, this will be Jeffrey,
Aye.
Tony,
Aye.
Dave,
I
Joanne.
I.
Okay,
agree.
that is unanimous. Okay, we're going to adjourn this meeting. If any of you need a quick break, then we'll be back here and
I forgot to excuse Jeffrey Richards. They told me to excuse him. He's up to Yellowstone being chased around by bears, so.
Cookies with Gary.
Yeah, no, you can leave them on safer if you
I
don't.
hope he gets away from the one that attacked those two hikers the other
See
day.
how long the meeting goes. This might be for
had a
that.
big dinner, didn't he?
He's about 14,
So,
28, 14,
yeah.
14. Would have thought the 14-year-old would have outrun the 28-year-old. Yeah.
They open your pool yet?
No, next week.
Monday.
And
This kind of fakes us out because we had a 90-degree.
recover. It's in my office, I'll grab you yearly
Yes.
maintenance.
Yeah. Who do you have do the maintenance on that?
All right.
Yeah. Mizu?
MIZU, Mizzou Pool. They have a contract, so if a rope breaks or
Yeah.
something goes wrong, then they're obligated to get back there. In a fairly good.
I'm gonna write that down. Mizu.
MIZU. Yeah, they've been good.
MIZU.
Jeff has better recommendations for Jeff and I.
Jeff, do you have a good recommendation for a cover? Pool cover company? For an old pool?
I use one,
Oh, Jeff's not gonna be.
they come out of Pearl.
Oh,
They've always done mine. That's Star.
oh, Star Cover? Cover Star.
Cover Star.
Yeah.
I don't know how good they are. I mean, they,
But they come out, do a good job.
yeah, I mean, I put on, I put on really no weight.
Oh, yeah.
And so.
How are you doing?
I'm doing
One
good. How are
covers.
you, Mayor?
Yeah,
It's a realty business.
yes, that would be about
And they've
right.
had to come out a couple
Every
times.
5 years.
Put new
Rope.
rope or pulley down it.
I know. We had an early spring market
They're
because the
not-
weather was so good, so it's.
They get so low, they just nickel and dime.
Oh, you know, and it's not nickel and dimes, it's $1,000 here, $1,000 there,
I
$1,000.
tell Ann, I said, I'm gonna bring up the dump trucks and get dirt, I'm gonna bury it.
When you do that, call me because I need a dump truck load. Oh, I've had that thing forever and it just cost money.
When did you put yours in, did you say?
Oh, it was in when we bought the house, we bought the house in or in 97. Yeah, so it's one of the old Trojan pools with the coping that you can't get anywhere anymore and the aluminum track and
Yeah.
I mean, I had to fight the bullet, just redo the whole thing, but it's it's that or put in a,
Had a-
maybe a pickleball court,
Yeah.
fill it in, put concrete in.
Yeah, yeah, but they're just expensive.
Yeah, yeah.
And they are. We need a new liner. I
Oh,
got,
yeah.
I got a liner a few years ago.
Yeah,
That thing is crap.
really?
Just faded the first year. You know how they fade and start looking bad. The first one I come, it lasted 10 years.
Forever, yeah.
Just
Mary uses Jake Winterton. Do you know Jake? And he did my cover for me, and it has been, he did it.
I didn't know he did come.
Or not covers, I'm sorry, liners. And he is, like in one day, he got it all done, and it was well done, it's been well done, didn't have any deletes or anything. Perfect. And he was really reasonable, really reasonable. You're vinyl liner, right? Yes. Vinyl liner?
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, we'll have to look.
Kids enjoy it, the grandkids always enjoy it. So I mean, that's,
They're asking to know when we're opening it.
yeah, that's first of Jake. In fact, he's doing mine tomorrow.
Is he?
Mine and my daughters.
He's gonna do mine on Monday, so that's. Yeah. That's a good.
Well, heated up by Memorial Day.
Ask him about the liner.
Actually, I have a picture of him doing. Was getting that on there, the other.
Then you know what? Okay.
Well, no, he doesn't get it. Yeah, it's hard.
Pull down a little, that's great.
Yeah, no problem.
You good for the pledge?
You betcha.
Show me all those stairs and even.
Anybody on this side good for the prayer?
We're going.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yes. That's how you get it from
Okay.
This is an intimidating group. A little bit worried about how this might go. I think there's 2 political science and the 2 boyfriends.
Neither of them
Yeah.
claiming that, are they?
I was gonna say. Do you want to borrow these, boys? Okay, we'd like to, I can get the right. We'd like to welcome everybody to our Morgan City Council meeting. It is May 12th, 2026. We appreciate you attending. Jeff, if you'd give the pledge. And Laura Ann is going to, I still say prayer instead of opening ceremony, sorry. Okay.
Everybody rise and complete the pledge, please.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Our dear Heavenly Father, we are grateful for the opportunity we have to be here tonight and for the opportunity we have to serve our community, and to meet with residents that live here. We ask you to help us to work towards solutions that are collaborative and honest. We ask you to guide us and watch over us, and say these things in the name of Jesus Christ. Amen.
You're busy tonight, Janet. I will entertain a motion to approve of tonight's meeting agenda?
And you admit.
Oh, sorry.
Oh,
So moved, Mayor. Still looking for that motion. Second.
Okay, we have a motion from Tony to approve tonight's meeting and a second from Jeff. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Janet, that's unanimous. I will also entertain a motion for the consent agenda.
So moved.
I have one question.
Okay,
Yeah. Ty, just multiple refunds on impact fees to Adams Construction. What was that?
I can't remember. I'll look it up real fast. I think they were just overcharged, but let me look real fast.
Street part.
It's all of our impact fees, yeah.
Okay. Would it be one project, multiple projects?
No, it's one project. So you can see it's all at the same location.
Same address.
It's on looks like it's on the duplex.
Okay. Yeah,
They might have been overcharged, so.
$9,800.
Yep.
Could that be, well, we'll find out. That's all I had. All the questions I had.
can we make a motion with that pending or?
I'd be willing to, second one, you were going to approve it or
I make a motion.
move to approve.
Yeah. I make a motion to approve the consent agenda,
Of April 14th
April 14th, 2026.
and the work meeting of
And the work meeting of April 14th, 2026, and the warrants of April 11th, 2026 to May 8th, 2026.
I'll second.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, Janet, that's unanimous. Welcome, Jake.
Good evening.
Do we have any official citizen comments? Nope, okay. Well, Jake, we're gonna move into a verbal presentation of the naming of the alleyway.
Thank you, Mayor. Good evening, Council. Mayor, it's great to be with you. Jen, I just sent a request for the screen share. Oh, you approved it. Thank you. Okay. I actually have a little presentation. We closed this on Saturday, so that's why you didn't get this ahead of time, but you don't have to make any decisions tonight. So as part of the plaza, obviously we need a name for it. I think this is a really big deal for Morgan City. Every town and city needs a heart, and that heart is the public space where activities happen. Ty worked for years on this, and it took a lot of creativity and working with landowners to make a deal with the city and provide this land and funding by grants and good contractors that deal with all kinds of issues. And so now we're kind of at this pinnacle point, and every place needs a name, especially a gathering place. And this is the process that we've been working on. The Planning Commission did some brainstorming and made recommendations that happened last year. And then over the winter, the council looked at those names, also did some brainstorming, came up with the final list. And then we even asked the Historic Committee for some recommendations. I sent those out to you, and you gave thumbs up, thumbs down. What did you think about them? And that input was included in this process. And then about 3+ weeks ago, we did a public survey to get input from the public. And then the final part of this will be the city council making the decision. And there is no legal or legislative. Thankfully, this is one process the state legislative body has kept their hands out of, is naming public spaces. Is that right, Gary?
That is correct, yes.
Thank you. So it definitely is up to the city. And so it's your decision, and we've been following this process because we want to make it meaningful. As part of this Plaza survey, it was shared on the city website. It was on the digital sign on State Street, and there was a number of other avenues looked at to get that word out. The actual survey had 178 views. That means people looked at it, whether or not they took it. We did get 110 submissions, which is fantastic. That's quite a bit of input on it. And people took 1 minute and 30 seconds, and it was just one question, the survey was. So, but still, the fact that they took 1.5 minutes to look at it and be like, this is what I think, and it was open for 3 weeks. So this was the question. The following names have been considered by the Planning Commission and City Council / Mayor. Please rank with one being the highest. So what they had to do is just, it was on their phone or the computer, and they just had to just move them up and down what they thought was the number one and the least. And then I'll show you the results here. So this is going from most popular down to least, and you'll see Front Street Plaza, that name was ranked number 1 by 37%, then number 2 by 20%, and then number 3 by 19%, and so forth. Commercial Street Plaza also had some high rankings. You'll see 21%, and then 20%, and then 20.9%, and then it drops. And then Morgan Historic Plaza, people are definitely moving that down on the list, more towards the middle or the end. And then Morgan Heritage Square also, coming in really close on those numbers. And then the last two names, Morgan Station is interesting because quite a few people really liked it in terms of 21% and 14%, but there was quite a few people that said, no, that's at the back of the list for me. And then Trackside Square definitely fared the least. And then this is how the ranking came out, and this is the mean of those. So Front Street Plaza came in at number 1, Commercial Street Plaza number 2, Morgan Historic Plaza number 3, Morgan Heritage Square. Really, those two are tied, 3 and 4. You could see by their numbers. And then Morgan Station just a little bit behind, and then Trackside is quite a bit behind. Now you could take these results and do what you would like with it. It doesn't necessarily mean you have to go with this, but this was a process we chose to explore to get input. The next steps are discuss the findings today, and then next meeting, if you're ready, I would say you make a vote on it for a final name. If not, you could continue it. And then once a name is selected, we can start working on some signage and making it official. And so with that, I just kind of want to hear what you have to say on this minor but important detail as part of the city.
So that street officially is Commercial Street, correct?
Yes, Commercial Street. And I don't know if we actually have a name on the alley street part. And one thing on the Front Street there, you could change the name back to Front Street. It'd take a little bit of work, but we've actually talked about it in-house, and it is something that could happen.
Yeah, that's what I was wondering. If we went with Front Street Plaza, would it make sense to change Commercial Street to Front Street?
Where does the name Front Street come from? Was that a historic name?
That's what I remember it as, like growing up was Front
Was it
Street. Yeah.
Actually named that, or was it just a common
I don't know where it came from, but yeah, I would,
That's what I remember.
Front Street.
Yeah.
So I guess, Jake, if everyone obviously on Commercial Street would have to change their address, would be one thing, correct?
Yes.
What else would that imply if we officially changed it to Front Street?
I mean, we can get with the post office and find out, but there's just a few signs. I mean, I don't know the number of signs, but it's not very many. Change the signs. The businesses would have to update. Maybe it could be we're going to change it in 6 months. I see it quite often that cities rename streets, and so maybe setting a date in the future. You know, give it 3 months out, and also just so the post office knows that for the next few years, you know, if something comes to 331 Commercial Street or whatever, then continue to send it that same business because you're not going to use Commercial Street any other location.
I guess what I'm thinking is if we had an event at the plaza and somebody from out of town says, okay, so where's this Front Street Plaza? Well, it's on Commercial Street. It sort of seems a little, nonsensical to me, but that's just my, I like Front Street Plaza, but I would almost think we would.
Street behind could be known as Front
Just
Street.
behind Front Street?
Just behind Commercial Street is Front Street.
Alleys.
Front Street Alley, yeah. I mean, if the plaza's named that, chances are the street will go by the same name or a similar name. Jake, would Front Street, would that be a historical name, do you know, that could have been common across the country in, say, 75, 100 years ago?
Yeah, not. I think it is.
I mean, not unique to Morgan is what I'm wondering.
Yeah. Fort Collins, I think their main drag is Front Street, which is what Disney modeled their main street after. I
The Front
believe.
Street being a commercial street,
Yeah.
perhaps.
I do think it has more. Actually, changing Commercial Street to Front Street has a little bit more charm to it. I mean, Commercial Street by nature seems a little bit generic. So I think it does give the whole downtown more charm in doing it. And then the alley could, the problem, I think the problem with naming the alley street Front Street is it's not actually the front street, it's the behind street. So that's also confusing.
Yeah, it could be changed down the road, I suppose.
So
There-
what do we have to do to research, if we change it to Front Street and the businesses have to change their address? I'm not totally in favor of that. Is that something that will have to happen?
Not if you name the plaza. If it's just Front Street Plaza, I mean, there's no businesses on the plaza. It's just naming the gathering place. But I think to Tony's point is that it would be confusing if you had Front Street Plaza and no Front Street.
Jake, isn't there area behind the plaza for business to locate? And then would that street need to be named?
Yeah, it definitely needs an address number, and it also could have a name.
It has an address.
Okay. Thank you, Ty.
What would it be?
I don't know what the address is,
But there would be a name. I mean, you'd have to, well, it could be a number, I guess.
it is a number. It has a coordinates, but
Okay, a coordinate.
I just want to name it Back Street.
Front Street and Back Street.
Okay, do we have any more discussion?
Are we deciding tonight what we're gonna name it?
No.
Mm-mm. Yeah.
I guess if you got
Wheels
hung
are
up on
turning, Tony.
Front Street or Commercial Street, you could always say, well, let's just name it Morgan Heritage Plaza.
I like the Front Street or Commercial Street. I think I grew up knowing it as Front Street. I don't know when the switch was made to have it be Commercial Street. I mean, I think it's always been named Commercial Street officially. So maybe because our city has grown and continues to grow, we should keep it Commercial Street Plaza on Commercial Street. I hadn't actually thought of that before you brought it up. But I think the Front Street is charming, but for me, it has some nostalgia from what Commercial Street used to be.
Well, I like Front Street better than Commercial Street.
Yeah.
Personally.
Yeah,
But
I like it, but
if you're looking
again,
for
it's
an opinion,
nostalgic,
but-
yeah.
If you would like, we could ask the post office the process. We could even do a survey of just the businesses on Commercial Street and get their input. So you could know if one, how difficult it is, and two, if they are opposed to it or are willing to deal with some inconvenience for a
think
few
that's a
months
great
as-
idea,
as
Jake.
people
Yeah.
go through a transition.
Yeah, that probably is a good idea
I think
because I
it'd be
mean,
a great
I
idea.
yeah,
That's
you know,
who it's gonna affect the most.
probably have an address on a website and business cards, and
Might be a lot to ask.
it could be a big ask.
Yeah,
I think
So
it's,
there are a stretch of homes on on Commercial
Commercial
Street as
Street.
well. It would all have to change their
All the way down Commercial Street, huh?
address, but,
We could do a
have the Front Street Festival because I do think historically it was,
yeah,
Front Street. So the historic committee decided to name their festival Front Street Festival.
Of course, we're not changing the name of Commercial Street right now. We're just considering the plaza, so I don't know that we would need to survey commercial businesses yet, would we?
The other thing is the ribbon cutting for the plaza is May 30th as part of the Front Street Festival. So-
The name by then.
So the next meeting, yeah, so the idea is the next meeting, we'd choose a name and then we would announce it at the Front Street Festival.
Well, from your point, Ty, we could do a 600 East and 700 East, right in the middle of the street. We'll change the address from Front Street to Commercial Street. I'm just being a little facetious there.
I just add my thoughts. The survey carries a lot of weight in my mind. I'll just say it at that right now.
Pardon?
Say the survey carries weight in my mind.
Agree.
I think we should follow what they
Yeah,
brought out here.
yeah.
I feel the same way. If that's what the people are happy with, then I agree.
Yeah, I think it could be named that, and then if there's changes otherwise, that can happen down the road.
Later.
Well, thank you, Jake. Good work.
If you
Thank you.
change,
I was impressed with the response.
you change the name of the road, then the businesses could say, come see us at our new location.
Grand opening.
Yeah, a marketing side to it.
So do you want, Gary, this isn't a common thing. Should we have, what would that be in terms of making a vote at their next meeting? What would that look like is it a resolution? Is that what it is?
That would probably be the best way to do it, since councils make their decisions by ordinance or resolution, so
Okay.
that would be a good way to do it. Hey, just a little history. I just looked it up real quick. And it says that it was Front Street in the late 19th and 20th century. It was named Front Street and was commonly used as the road directly in front of the railroad tracks. As the downtown business district shifted towards railroad in 1868, the street became the primary economic hub, and over time solidified as the city's business area and ended up in just morphing into Commercial Street. So
Hmm.
we're right.
Yeah, good work.
That's just an interesting little.
Yeah, I mean,
So it's
yeah,
never
and that might,
officially been named Commercial Street?
I don't know if it has or it hasn't, but it says the name transitioned to Commercial Street. We could probably look up how it transitioned, but
Right.
18th, 19th centuries.
I think that adds to the historical nature of the Front Street name or the Front Street Plaza. That has some history that goes along with the whole area.
I wasn't around in the 18th century, so I don't know what that
You gonna
is.
say, I don't know how Councilperson
Gary, what?
Dwyer knew that. How you knew that.
This is from memory, is that?
Yeah,
The
this is from my
18th century
memory.
either.
You used to come up here as a boy?
Yeah, that was it. So, when Brigham,
Yeah, you and Uncle Brigham.
Well, the point I made earlier, maybe it isn't so wonky if you call it Front Street Plaza and
Yeah.
leave the street Commercial Street.
Yeah.
I think that it may not be that big of an issue.
it
You know.
has
I think
historical significance anyway, so.
So maybe for tonight then, is there direction to move ahead with a resolution stating Front Street Plaza then? Do we feel okay with that?
I feel fine with that.
I could give Front Street a head nod.
All right, Janet and Jake, Gary.
Sounds good.
We can
Thank you.
move that
Our
to
marching orders.
Jake. It's a positive recommendation from the council
There we go. Good way to put it.
to move it to Front Street.
Plaza.
Wow, I've never had such a difficult thing to face.
It's tough
Yeah,
to say.
chickens.
Yeah, chickens was kind of
Yeah.
heavy.
Thank you. I think this is my only item tonight, unless you have anything else for me.
Okay, thank you. Appreciate all your efforts on this.
Thanks, Jake.
Thank you.
Now, our next presentation is from the Morgan High School Flag Fundraiser with a request from the council and the mayor that you have a cheer
Oh.
on May 30th when we name this place. That possible? Just being facetious, but that would be remarkable. Okay, we are prepared.
Hi, we are Morgan High School cheerleaders and we are doing a fundraiser. We will be providing a service to the city by putting up flags for Memorial Day, Flag Day, Independence Day, Pioneer Day, Labor Day, Veterans Day, and Elections Day. The cost is $35 for one flag for all of these holidays. In the past, the city has purchased 10 flags. Is this something the city would like to do again? And if so, how many flags?
Also, in 2025, we set up 4 at the City Building, 2 at Riverside Park, 2 at Morgan North Cemetery, and 2 at Morgan South Cemetery.
I'm fine with doing what we've done in the past. Yeah. Do we need any more flags anywhere?
Been budgeted.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
We put it in the budget, I believe,
Yes.
and you can't say no to cheerleaders. So the only debate we would have is if we want to increase numbers and
Flags.
numbers of the flags and locations.
I like the distribution that they
Yeah.
propose. Yeah. A good presentation. Thank you.
Thank
We
you.
don't, we don't need a motion on that or anything, right? Just to go for it.
A positive recommendation,
There you go.
as Steve says, the mayor says.
Awesome. Thank you guys for your
Well,
time.
thank
Thank
you.
you.
It's like you sold us.
See, that was easy, wasn't it?
But
You're free to leave.
You're good.
Um, Gotta get a minute. It'll
Yeah.
come.
Yeah.
Okay. Item 5, a discussion about the budget officer intends to state tentative budget includes a proposed property tax increase. Ty?
Well, this is a new state requirement that just passed this legislative session that when the budget officer prepares the tentative budget, if there's an increase, that you state that on the agenda to make the public aware that there's an intent to raise property taxes. So the problem is we don't know what the certified tax rate's gonna be. So the budget does include a $20,000 increase in property tax, but I estimate that the certified tax rate will accommodate the $20,000 because of new growth in the city at least. And so
Then it wouldn't be a tax increase.
then it wouldn't be a tax increase anymore. So I think the state legislation is trying to make the public more aware, and I think they're just making it more confusing. I guess I shouldn't be chiming in on that, but as the budget officer, preparing this, I had to run all of my own numbers without a certified tax rate. And there's a paper in your packet that shows that it would be a 2.8% property tax increase if our certified tax rate comes in at the exact same
Right.
dollar amount as last year, even though the rate would be the
When do
same.
you expect that?
They don't tell us until June 6th.
Okay.
So
And we have to decide to go into truth and taxation by June 1st.
So you just answered my question, Ty. So if the proposed property tax rate, if that certified tax rate comes in, obviously at that number, then we would not have to have a truth in taxation, correct?
Correct. So process-wise, you have to state it. Then you also have to, if you disagree with the certified tax rate, then you would already have had to declare that you're doing truth in taxation one way or the other, because there is a $20,000 increase to the budget, and it's supposed to stay 100% revenue neutral, right? You can, even though we've stated that, you still have the option to say, we want to keep up with inflation, would like to,
Gotcha. Cost of living.
or we do want to put, you have to state the purpose. And so the purpose here is to put money into the capital improvements list. And then whatever the stated purpose is, if you do truth in taxation, then it has to be identified in the budget. So you can't spend any of that money until after truth in taxation, because there's a sentiment that by the time you get to truth in taxation, you've already budgeted and started spending money. So, so anyway, that's what the paper in the packet is. Just based on this year's budget, I'm not proposing a tax increase. It's just how the legislation came out. I think we'll,
Okay.
if the council would like to consider a tax increase, then would have to do truth in taxation, and you wouldn't be required to adopt the new rate, but you at least have to propose. You'd be able to adopt anything less than what you propose. So if you said, I think we should at least consider a 5% or a 10%, then you could base the whole process on that, and then our final budget would be based on that new number. So
Oh, go ahead. Tony.
If the certified, if the certified tax rate comes in lower than this proposed property tax rate that we have on this paper, then we would have to have a truth in taxation.
or you adjust your budget down to match the certified tax rate,
And we know that certified tax rate when? June 1st?
June 6th.
Next. Okay,
Gary, would you explain how the tax rate is figured?
yeah, in less than 30 minutes.
Yeah, okay.
Okay.
Ty, just on your part, the 20,000, I mean, that, considering some of our capital projects would just be a drop in the bucket. Is this something you're trying to maybe put some money aside for over a period of time to get an amount significant to do a project? Why isn't it 30 or 40 or 50?
The
20,000 that you're looking to set aside to capital projects?
Yeah, I just did a minimal increase. So I estimate that the new growth would include 20,000. So
I see.
I'm estimating
And that's where
the certified tax rate because I have nothing else to
yeah,
go off of.
well, that's okay.
And so that's what I'm putting in our budget is we
Gotcha.
that should at least capture the
Well,
certified.
but if
tax
it's
rate.
there, then there's no, the ideal scenario would be there's no
Yeah, tax
truth in,
increase.
yeah, truth in taxation.
Yeah,
Okay.
when we get to the budget, there are some changes in the tentative budget that could warrant a tax increase, but that would be up to council. I'm just not, as far as the tentative budget, I didn't propose.
How's it? Okay.
But you'll still have that option to generate more than the 20,000 in property tax if you so choose.
And this item 5 fills that requirement that you have to
Just to
make a
state it,
statement.
yep, to make the public aware early on in the process.
Okay. It seemed like there were 2 or 3 other steps that they wanted the city to do. This would be one of them, or are there others in addition to what we've done in the past?
This is a compilation of a couple of different decisions that were made. So
Okay.
one is the timing. The other is this, what it includes. And so these elements in here shows the projected property tax increase of 2.8%, but also the overall increase to your total property tax bill would be 0.03 or 3, a third of a percent or a fourth of a percent to your overall tax bill. That was another requirement, was to show that. And then the other requirement was to show a dollar amount. So that's where the 1198
So
comes in.
you've shown that on the document and that's made part of the agenda, hence
Yep, it's in the packet, so they can play
covering
it.
that
Yep.
requirement.
Mhm.
Gary, didn't the original sponsor want way more than what
Well, yeah.
they ended up with? Yeah.
And there was one
Almost
that
unworkable.
wanted a cap, so they wanted to cap it at
Almost
5%.
unworkable, it seemed like.
Yeah. It was, a lot of the proposed legislation failed, but this is one that stuck, so.
Well, it was watered down, fortunately.
So Gary, may I ask you a question? So it was interesting looking at this history. So just, I'll pick one. 2014, it was like 1936 was the mill levy, okay? And this was what, 13, what is it? 13 something? 1333? You know, well, 2 zeros in front of it, obviously, but so when you look at the mill levy, it's come down, right? Over the years. So here's my question. So that's largely due to growth
Property values.
or property values?
Property values.
Property values, not growth or,
New growth is something separate from property values. I just did a quick search to find out how they calculate the thing. And it is not, it's still a mystery, even when they explain it to you. But the numerator is the prior year revenue. And the denominator is the adjusted tax base. That's the mystery piece. And it's also the most important piece. It says the adjusted current tax base is the total value of all taxable property within the city for the current year minus eligible new growth. And they subtract new growth. This is the most critical part of the formula. By subtracting the value of new construction from the total value, the city is allowed to keep the additional taxes generated by those properties. So it's a formula that they have up on the hill that they use as the denominator in that to figure out what your tax system is.
Which state agency or does?
The State
this?
Tax Commission.
Okay.
Yeah,
Commission.
and
All right.
we've sent attorneys, accountants, everything else up there, and it's just too complicated to even try and explain, so. I don't know how they do
When
it.
you log in, when I log in, I can see the whole formula. There's a section of the website under my login that I can see the entire formula, but like Gary said, there's mysteries involved in the,
Good way to put it.
in the number,
The mystery.
driven primarily by property tax?
yep,
Mhm.
property values.
And property values.
Valuations, okay.
Well, that's by design to keep the revenue
Neutral,
neutral for
right.
the municipality. So the property values go way up, we don't get a windfall, but you have to remember, on the downside, if they go down, we still get to
Have to
keep
stay
our safe.
neutral.
We don't, it's not detrimental to the municipality if they drop considerably. So it, in days of growth that we've experienced for the last 15 years, it's always seems one-sided, but if the economy turns and all of a sudden it starts to go the other way, we can still work with it X
Well,
dollars of
If the
revenue.
value
that
went
we
down,
can
your
do.
mill levy would go up, right?
Yes.
That's how they make it revenue neutral.
That's right.
I think Utah's one of only a couple of states that does it this way.
I don't know that.
Yeah, seems like there are just a few.
Yeah, there are a lot of states that don't even collect a property tax, but of course, every state has to collect the money, so it's collected in some other way, usually income tax.
Sure,
or-
yeah, there's got to be a tax somewhere.
So clarification for me, just being new to a budget season. So the state sets a requirement and then we can adopt it or not adopt it. Is that how it works?
Well, yeah, so we
Kind of.
can adopt our own budget. We propose whatever budget we want. But the state creates a certified tax rate that if your budget matches that, then you're good to go. If you increase above what the state says is your revenue neutral position after adding in new growth, then you have to do a truth and taxation hearing because it's considered a tax increase. And we've had years where we've had a tax increase, but the actual dollar amount that the individual paid on their property tax was the same or less than a prior year, just based on the timing of their valuation. It's crazy.
20 years from now, you'll understand. Yeah.
Maybe it won't.
You'll be able to explain what truth and taxation is.
So this is mostly kind of an administrative thing.
Yep, it's a requirement that we've discussed
This
it
year.
and I brought it to the attention of the public. And that's the other thing that's odd is it's proposed by the budget officer without the council being involved. And one of the proposed pieces of legislation is that they would propose the tax increase would have been adopted by the budget officer without, they almost took it out of the hands of the council to vote on it. They had some crazy ideas.
Hard to understand why they would want to do that.
Yeah. Because they wanted
Don't get me
the,
started.
Don't get started.
they tried to get the tax increase to happen in May before your budget. So they were trying to say,
Before the cycle.
but, so you would let them know early, like in April, they wanted you to let them know that you were raising taxes. So by the time you did your final budget, everyone would know that you've increased taxes. So it was just, but they haven't done anything to say, let's provide the certified tax rate sooner.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Does a portion of
That's
the
the 11th
taxes go
hour.
to the state?
Not on property tax.
But
Goes
they just-
mostly to the schools.
Okay.
That's the biggest chunk. Yeah, the city's portion is really a small portion of the property tax.
So ours is about 15%. So of your total property tax bill, about 15% of that bill. So if you have $4,000 property tax, 15% comes to the city.
That's
It's their own-
$600. That's not that.
There,
much.
it's there on a line item on your property tax notice, so Morgan City.
Yep.
At least we're not Ogden Valley City.
Ogden Valley City. High taxes.
A motion on that, Mayor.
It's just a discussion item.
Discussion. So we don't need to end that. We've had a discussion, so we can move to another item. And that other item is a public hearing of an adoption of tentative budget for Morgan City for the fiscal year beginning July 1, 2026 and ending June 30, 2027. When I got to the acting. next step.
You ready for a motion, Steve?
Yes.
I'd move that we open a public hearing for the adoption of a tentative budget for Morgan City for the fiscal year beginning July 1, 2026 and ending June 30, 2027.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion to open the adoption of the tentative budget for Morgan City, July 1, 2026 and ending June 30, 2027. And a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay.
Eat this in front of you. You go right ahead.
I don't see anybody lined up.
I will make a motion that we close the public hearing.
Are there any public comments? Do you have any public comments on the public hearing?
Citizen comments.
So I guess I'll withdraw my motion.
This is public on the budget. You can talk about that.
Yeah,
I'm
this,
Scott Jensen. And I was just thinking, North Morgan really is gonna need a park. Because we got hundreds of families moving in townhomes that don't have much of a yard for kids. So it's just an idea that I think it would be good. Thank you.
Okay. No other comments?
now I will make a motion that we close the public hearing.
I'll second.
Okay, we have a motion from Tony, a second from Dave to close the public hearing on the tentative budget for Morgan City for the fiscal year of July 1, 2026 and ending June 30, 2027. Let's see, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? That one okay? Okay. All right, we're gonna make one change in our active agenda. We are going to move item D to A.
Do we have to do item C too? Isn't,
And then I just make a note
yeah.
that I moved it up and then this one goes to B, C.
Is Roger doing?
Do you want to do D and E?
Management too? So
Oh, yeah, let's do D and E. Good night. Thank you.
it's actually C and D.
Yeah, C and D.
C,
The
yeah.
sign in the sidewalk.
C and D.
C and D. Lance?
Well, I guess questions, comments, or concerns in addition to the what we talked about in the work meeting.
I would just note that we talked about this pretty extensively prior to this meeting in our work meeting, both of these issues. So it's been pretty well vetted. And again, sometimes I feel like people come in here and we almost rubber stamp something without talking about it, but we've talked about it quite a bit, quite extensively. So
Yeah, and I can give a quick rundown. What we've got is it was requested by the Utah's Trust, the city's insurance company, to have a sign management, maintenance, and inspection program, or a sidewalk management, maintenance, and inspection program. And we have worked through that with the trust and with our legal team, and have worked with our contract engineers to come up with a program for basically sidewalk management and maintenance and record keeping throughout the city. And as part of this, while we were working on that, we also did a road sign inspection, management, and replacement policy for the city that's being adopted tonight as our official policy on those items for record keeping and tracking. So
Gary, I have a point of order. If we make a motion to adopt these resolutions, can we do them both at the same time?
You can, if you wish to do that.
Yeah, I think you answered most of our questions, Lance, so thank you.
And thank you for your research on the project. You did a great job.
Well, I appreciate the support of you guys and Ty and Gary. We got a really, really good team to work with when we get putting this stuff together. It really makes it simple and go smoothly. So I'm grateful for the group we've got and the council we've got that lets us take this stuff and run with it and just figure it out and, you know, and get it worked out. And, you know, the trust of you guys let us do our jobs and do what we need to do with this stuff. So
Appreciation extends to you for the whole.
thank you guys.
You're wearing the reflective gear.
Yeah.
Yep.
Thanks for your work, Lance.
No, thank you guys.
Mayor,
Had
I
something
will
to
make a
say.
motion that we approve, adopt Resolution 2620. That's a resolution adopting a sign management, maintenance and inspection program. And also Resolution 26-21, a resolution adopting a sidewalk replacement policy for Morgan City, Utah.
I'll second that. Okay, we have a motion from Tony to adopt resolution 2620 and also resolution 2621, and second from Jeff. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, Janet, that's unanimous. Thank you again.
Thanks, Lance. Good night.
Thank you.
Okay, let's move to resolution 2619. A resolution adopting a tentative budget for Morgan City for the fiscal year beginning July 1, 26 and ending June 30, 27. Setting a date for a public hearing to adopt final budget resolution.
Well, I have a few questions,
Perfect.
if now's the time.
So should we let Ty give an overview? Is there any highlights or do you want to just field questions?
I can do it either way, or
Okay.
the mayor wants.
Let's entertain a question.
Okay.
Questions.
Questions, plural.
And this is just my curiosity. I don't have a problem with any of these, so I'm just curious. So Ty, 31,330 is the Met tax. So the amended budget actually is cut in half in the tentative budget. Why is that? Why would the Met tax actually go down?
Because when we first adopted it, it was just estimate and the actuals are starting to come in. So based off of the monthly actuals, it is only going to produce about half of what I anticipated.
Okay, so it's just, we have a better idea of what it's going to, okay.
Yeah, and so we did not do a property tax increase last year because we did a Met tax that was supposed to replace that. And now the Met tax is only half of what we anticipated, so. Just
Do you anticipate future changes? I mean, could it come in more than you're expecting or?
No, because
Is
we
that
had,
about where we're at?
that's about where we're at,
Okay,
yeah.
good. Because even as recent as a couple of months ago, you weren't sure where we were at.
Yeah, it took a long time for the tax commission to actually get it implemented
Ramped up,
and,
yeah.
yeah, so we've only had about 2 months of, and that's 3 months behind as well by the time we get the report.
Would that 150 seem to be pretty constant then as we go down? the
After that,
road?
yeah.
Okay.
Okay. 36,800, it's miscellaneous revenue. From 60 to 100,000. What's the miscellaneous revenue?
So miscellaneous revenue is kind of one where we capture things that are not budgeted for, don't have a typical line item, a good place to put it. So next year, the 100,000 anticipates, a storm drain payback. So when we did the plaza, we added extra capacity into the storm drain for the neighboring properties. And when they build on those properties, they owe us money back for doing that extra capacity, but we don't have a storm drain fund. And so when that payback comes, it's gonna go into that account, and that's why it's at 100,000.
Where did the 400 come from then this year?
The 400 came from closing out we had that sales tax revenue bond for the street program. So the last couple of years, we've been drawing down on that, and that was the remaining amount on that bond that we posted.
And then I'll ask one more, but I think I'll just come in and visit you one day because I have a few more questions, but I'll just take one more. 41,290, Ty. It is the liability insurance from 30,000 to 90,000.
Yeah, and that's just the way that it gets split up. So it depends on if we split it up between all of the departments or just put it in the administrative costs.
Oh, okay.
So we're just capturing that right now all in administrative costs.
How
And
did-
it's a guess, and it's kind of a guess too on the dollar amount.
Why didn't you do that last year?
So I just let the accountants, the CPAs, I didn't meet with them last year to put it all into the administration, but it does get split up between general fund and the other entities. It's just
Okay.
which accounts in the general fund it gets spread over, but it's all general fund money, so you could do it either way.
I lied. I have one more. 620 splash pad. $1,000,005.
Yeah, so that's the Fish Pond Park.
Okay.
And that's, it's just park improvements is the line item, but at some point they use it for the splash pad. That's why it says splash pad. on there.
Okay. All right. I was thinking, we're gonna do a new splash pad.
No, that's just a general term for the line item, so.
Which fund was that?
620.
The what?
On page 4.
Okay. page
Okay.
4. Found it.
Under parks.
Got it.
So there's actually a couple, so there's park impact fees that'll go towards the fish pond, park improvements, and then you'll also see an increase in engineer fees because of the design work required for the fish pond.
Is
That's-
that offset by bonds?
Yeah, so there's on the revenue side,
Yeah.
under grants, there's a
Okay.
so we have $500,000 from the donor advisory fund that was from that Wasatch Peak settlement.
Right.
And then we just found out today that we applied for $1 million and we got 717,000. But, well, so it kind of messes up the budget.
717.
Well, so when I applied, on the application, it says all or none. So I said, if we don't get the $1 million, then we don't want the money because I'll wait a year and I'll apply for the $1 million next year. But, they gave us we can accept or reject the 717. So that's their award back to us, but now we have to come up with $300,000 extra that I didn't have in this budget. We can do it, but now we kind of have to say, well, 717 this year versus what next year? If we
could
turn
get
it
all of
down,
next year, yeah.
but I don't think would score very well if we turn the money back this year.
So if we turn it back, they're not going to say, okay, we'll give you $1 million next.
Next year, yeah, I wouldn't run that risk.
Yeah.
And then, if we accept the money and we spend it, then we become eligible again sooner. So if we wait and put it off another year, then that's another year down, 3 years from now that we wouldn't be eligible for that same pot of
So
funding.
you're inclined to accept?
I'm inclined to accept it, and we'll have to figure out the 300.
I think that's doable though. I mean,
Yeah.
300's within a range
Well,
or
we-
area that you can work with.
Yeah, we were already providing, so the whole project's 2.5 million, and we were already providing a 53% match.
Mhm.
And then there is one more grant in the fall that I'll apply for. That would be about 450,000. So if we combine all 3 grants for the one project, then we'll be there, yeah.
And this,
But even if we don't get the one in the fall, right now we're almost halfway, it's almost double our money, our match would be
700 is from who?
the outdoor recreation grant.
Okay.
So it's from Department of Natural Resources.
And between the 7 and the 5, does that give us a jump start to go forward?
Yeah, so that gives us 1.2 towards the 2.5.
Would you begin work or would you, you'd have to use the grant money?
Yeah,
I
yeah.
guess.
Yeah, so
Be fishing soon.
what we might have to do is well, we have a couple of options. We can do a property tax increase for that purpose. It would pay towards all of our capital improvements like we've been trying to do. One increase isn't gonna fund the rest of the pond.
Right.
Or we could, in the project, take out the restrooms or there's a dock included, so it would be like ADA accessible.
Take them out
We've already taken out, so
for the moment.
we've already taken out like a lot of landscaping, and we've done that natural trail, and because it started at like 3. We brought the cost down. It started at like 3.2. Now the engineer estimate's 2.5, but anyway, there's ways around it, and we can use some capital improvement money to make up that $300,000 difference. I guess the big question is if we don't get the grant in the fall, then
Yeah,
Scrambling.
we'll have to make a decision.
then we're scrambling, but
You just answered one of my questions because I had engineer fees wrote down and it's the engineering for the fish pond.
Yep.
I do have one more. 67,750, it's under cemeteries, Ty. It's the capital outlay under cemetery. The tentative budget's 500,000.
yeah, that's for a building at the South Cemetery.
It's for a building at the south.
Yeah. So at one point we had like a $1.5 million building proposed there, and now that's been out of reach.
Is it an equipment building or?
Well, yeah, so an equipment building with a bathroom and an office in it, and then on one end of it, it would have a bay for the dirt. So,
Okay, all right. I assumed that's what it was, so.
yeah, and we may or may not do that project. It's just in the budget just in case we.
We'll build a barnuminium.
Yep.
Okay,
Can I add a couple more questions?
I'm done for now.
Page 4, Ty, I think I ask this every year, the lost and cost expenses.
Yep.
Remind me what those are, and I noticed you're budgeting 25% more this year.
Yeah, so,
Dave, what number are those?
Good question. 60630 and 60640.
so the lost is local option sales tax expense, and the cost is county option sales tax. So the county adopted a local option sales tax too, and I just called it cost just to keep it straight in my mind, because I don't remember, one's 2219 and one's all the quarter percents, and And then I just budget them that way. And then there's a couple line items that are increased, and that's a commercial street project that would include bump outs and repaving the
So these are
commercial street.
are expenses that you can use that money for.
It's a restricted
Okay.
funds, but it has to be a road project. And then the commercial street project also may or may not happen because I'll apply for a COG grant to match with it. And if we don't get the COG funding, then we likely will put that project off another year. Just
Okay, so on both the lost and the cost, you have equal amounts in revenue that would total 600,000.
no, so the expenses are more than the revenue, and so part of the appropriation of beginning fund balance is appropriating that restricted money to cover that expense.
Okay.
So it is the appropriation of beginning fund balance is a mechanism or a tool to balance the budget, but it's also a way to, when you overspend in one budget category, then you appropriate the fund balance that's built up in a restricted fund
And
to go
we
towards the roads.
have amounts build up to
Yep.
fund what you've proposed
Yeah.
here in the budget.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. So the road money has been building.
Down to 64,300 engineering fees, that was a big jump in there, 70,000. 64,300 on page 4.
Oh, yeah, that's what we were talking about is the design for the fish pond.
Okay.
You're in parks, right? Parks budget.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah, let's see. We maybe even talked about this one, capital outlay is that the one you had, Tony, on the cemetery?
Yeah, that's a building.
Yes.
Yeah,
New
the
shop.
building there. Okay. Yeah. All right, and let's see. Capital projects, again, we've probably already talked about it, but where it just says, it just gives the total number. Let's just be clear, the state grants of 33,400 of 2 million.
So that one's the culvert grant, the bridge bypass
Gotcha.
that we've been working on. So it's a $2.7 million project, and it's a 70-30 match.
And that one's in place if we,
So we've been we applied through Congressman Moore's office, and he did select it as one of the projects that he's taking to the Federal Appropriations Committee. And so it's totally up in the air if they fund it or not.
so
But
we're waiting
we've
on
applied,
that.
yeah.
So what you're saying is in a budget, if it does happen, it's
It's
ready to
there.
go. If it doesn't,
Yeah, then we won't spend the 3 million on
down
the
below, you don't have the improvements, huh?
yeah.
Okay.
Part of that, just since we mentioned the capital outlay, part of that line item includes the land purchase for the power plant.
Okay, where's that at? Oh, in the
The part of that 3 million,
30.
yeah.
Okay. What was that amount again?
The land purchase
Yeah.
would be 515,000.
We've talked about that, haven't we?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, I think I'm just about through here. Oh, here we go. I've got another 45 now. Jeff sound asleep. Electric fund. So just a little bit about that. You're anticipating $400,000 less in revenue in collections from the year before.
Yeah, so if you remember, a couple years ago, we adopted that flexible rate, the adjustable rate schedule.
From
And
the
last year, we didn't do it. This year, we're adding $2.50 to the base rate. And based on our, trying to get to $1.5 million fund balance over the next couple years, we anticipate being able to lower the electric rate by 0.5 to 1 cent per kilowatt hour. And so the electric rate would go down just a little bit.
Okay. And how are we on the 1.5 fund?
So we're about 750.
Is that right? Good, it's working now.
Well, not right now, but when we get our reimbursement for the State Street project,
Okay.
so we'll get 600,000 back from that,
That goes back into.
that project. Yeah, we spent the fund balance down.
Then
so.
miscellaneous revenue fell from 600 to 150, a change of 450,000 on electric.
The 600 is that grant reimbursement.
Okay. The 150 would just be
A normal,
typical,
yeah. Mm-hmm.
All right.
What's the 850,000 on the equipment, on the electric?
So that includes a digger derrick. So that's the truck that'll dig the poles to reset,
Okay.
dig the hole to reset the poles. We've had one ordered for the last 3 years. And they got back to us and said that, good news, bad news, your truck's here, but now there's new emission requirements that are gonna drive up the cost, based on the model year that we get. So,
Is it a diesel?
yeah, it's a diesel. And, so that truck by itself's 450,000 of that 850. And then we need a new recloser at the Mahogany Ridge substation. And then we also want to purchase a wire puller. You see the big spools of wire, so buy one of our own that we can pull wire for subdivisions.
Okay.
But that one's only 50,000, I think, of the 850.
Capital outlay for electric, that was 1.9, that was our State Street project.
Yep.
That's all the questions I have. Steve, thank you.
Thank you for being thorough.
I'm done.
More discussion? If I'm reading this right, this is a recommendation or an action.
Should be a resolution.
2619.
Tentative budget for Morgan City for the fiscal year beginning July 1, 2026 and ending June 30th, 2027. And setting a date for a public hearing to adopt final budget, resolution 2619.
Mayor, I'd move to approve resolution 2619, adopting a tentative budget for Morgan City for the fiscal year beginning July 1, 2026, ending June 30, 2027, and setting a date for a public hearing, that being June 23rd, 2026, to hear interested persons prior to adopting a final budget.
Second.
Okay. We have a motion from Dave for resolution 2619 and then adding the date of June 23rd, 2026. And a second from Tony. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, great. Let's move on to it was item B, so ordinance 2607. An ordinance amending Title III, Chapter 06 solicitation license of the Morgan City Code, extending applicability of the chapter to employers and contractors. So, Ty, do you want to?
Sure. So we had a solicitor not too long ago misrepresent themselves and say they were from Morgan City Power doing a solar project, and we a day later found the person and he got a citation for soliciting without a license, and he was escorted out, but it was just a kid, but we didn't have anything to go after the company liable for their employees and their actions. And so we don't know if he was just acting, doing what he could to make his own sales
Independent or part of the company.
or part of the company, but we just decided in the code, and Gary helped us, rewrite that code to say, you're responsible, or we can hold the company responsible for their actions.
Is there any more?
Just one request for whoever makes the motion. Ty accurately described exactly what it does, which is to make the employer as responsible as the solicitor. I do have, and I apologize for this, but there is an extra word in there in 3.06.035. Application of the chapter. This is the actual piece of the law that makes them liable. And there's just a word that needs to be removed, and it's on the second line, and it's the word employer. So whoever makes the motion to approve it, could you
What is
please?
that, Gary?
So it would read 3.06.035, and I think it's on page 33 of your packet. And it's in the actual code section itself. It says 3.06.035, application of the chapter. And then it reads like this. It says violations of this chapter shall apply to any person who solicits and to any entity. An entity is capitalized because it's defined above in the definition section. Principal, firm, or corporation who, and then it has the word employer in there. I don't know how that happened, but anyway, I want to eliminate that word employer, and who it would read who contracts with the solicitor or engages in or causes solicitation to the same extent as the solicitor. So they would be fined to the same extent. They could be fined to the same extent as the person who's soliciting does. So the word we need to take out is just employer there, and I apologize for that.
We need
I
to
don't know
strike
how that-
employer.
Strike employer. Janet, does that make sense to you? Okay. Well, sorry about that. Got in there? Don't know how it got in there.
If you have somebody soliciting and they say they represent a company,
Uh-huh.
that company doesn't know they're soliciting,
Yeah,
that
We-
company would still be liable too?
we would have to make sure that they truly are representing that company, that there's a contract between the two, or that they were an employee of the company.
Part of that'll be determined when they fill out the application, because you've included the information from the employer also,
That's correct. So
Yeah.
we can investigate that at that time.
or we didn't
Division
have
of-
that before.
Division of Commerce and Commercial Code will tell us who the company is and who their registered agent in the state is. And then we can go from there to find out whether the employee is actually working for them or not.
Okay.
So that's a good question. So thank you.
Thank you.
Why do most solicitors go through the process because it seemed like last summer I had probably half a dozen window replacements, and they've all been down here and gone through that process.
Yeah, they're supposed to come get a
Should have a tag.
and then if one comes to your door, you can ask them for it.
Yeah.
So
Doesn't the ordinance say it has to be visible?
yeah, but
A tag or something? with a
Yeah,
Picture?
yep, they're supposed to display it. So I think so anyway.
Yeah, it seemed like it talked about a
Yeah.
tag that they, identification that they had to
That's
display.
up front here.
You ready, Mayor?
I am.
Okay, I'll make a motion to accept ordinance 2607, amending Title 3, Chapter 06 solicitation. License of the Morgan City Code extending applicability of the chapter to employers and contractors. And with the added, in section 3.06035, scratching deleting the word employer. And so taking the word employer out. Is that,
That's correct.
is that correct?
Good.
Perfect.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion from Jeff. Ordinance 2607, striking the word employer. I forget the reference, 36.
It's the 3-06. 0.06.035.
3.06.035.
Application of chapter.
Tony has a second there. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, Janet, that's unanimous. Okay, item E, a resolution approving a subdivision bond agreement for improvement and a warranty between Morgan City and Adams Construction Services Incorporated, resolution 26-22. Do you want to move us on that one?
Sure. So this is just a minor subdivision, and part of the subdivision improvements include storm drain. So this is just bonding for the engineer estimate of installing the storm drain. In the case that they don't finish, then the city will take the bond and finish the storm drain on their behalf. But when they install the storm drain, then the bond will be released back to them.
I just have one question. Does the city ever hold the money, the cash, rather than
No.
go through through an independent bank or title company?
The city does have the capability of doing that, but we don't, that's hard to track.
Pardon?
That's hard to track. And you
On our
have a
part.
treasurer that have to track
I
that
see.
all the way through the system.
Yeah, especially if you had multiple
Yeah, and
agreements.
over a year.
Yeah, and over multiple periods. Okay.
Maybe just a kind of a little education thing. In the private sector, somebody who puts in sidewalk and puts in the labor and everything can file a lien against the state of, or against, with the state of Utah, against the person who fails to pay. But as far as cities go, we do not have that lien capability. And so we try to make these developers, when they put these improvements in, we have them bond for not only the improvements most of the time, or they put them in advance of their recording. And then we have a provision in there that provides for a 10% guarantee warranty on the bond that we hold for a year afterwards. Because if the thing breaks apart afterwards, we really don't have much of a cause to be able to go after the individual if we don't collect these bonds. So these are standard bonds. I think we brought them to you in the past. I think it's pretty much a boilerplate across the state, but it saves the city a lot of money if we have to go after them for replacing sidewalk and that type of thing.
So that bond is from our engineer.
The
And he
estimates,
can't hire his own engineer to estimate.
yes, our engineer looks over his his engineer's estimates and confirms those estimates, then that becomes the attachment for the bond. And then we take 10% of that
Question.
and hold it aside.
The engineer in this case is a brother, right?
Yeah.
The,
Yeah, our engineer has to approve the estimates.
His engineer. Yeah,
His-
because like I said,
Yeah.
an engineer he is using is actually his,
Yeah.
but that's okay.
That's okay. Yeah. We don't want our engineer to go to all the work of doing the estimates,
But our engineer will look over that engineer.
but looks over the engineer's estimates. Yeah.
Good, okay.
Yeah, and they've got all kinds of things they refer to, standards that they refer to, especially what we have actually paid for improvements that the city's done. Jones and Associates really good at that, so.
so the form that we use is our form, the escrow form. Morgan City bond agreement. It's a fill in the blank. It looks like arrangement, but looks like it's probably been through the copy machine multiple times. I'm wondering if we could get a cleaner copy of that. I mean, you're starting to see letters that, I mean, you can read through it for sure, but there's some that almost start to blur.
Yeah, and I'm not sure if that's after they scanned it back in or if that's the copy they got, if the copy they got is that way.
Maybe that was them scanning it on the,
It could have
It
been.
could, yeah,
on
it
the
could
other
be their
end.
copy.
maybe just look at it and see
Okay.
if our copy's clean.
Okay.
Yeah.
And it was just a bad scan on the contractor's part. That could be. I would move to approve a resolution approving a subdivision bond agreement for improvement and a warranty between Morgan City and Adams Construction Services, Inc., Resolution 2622.
Thank you, Dave. Do we have a second?
I'll second it.
We have a motion from Dave on resolution 2622 and a second from Jeff. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Hey, Janet, that's unanimous. Let's move on to the city reports and business. Does the council have anything that they want to share? Okay, let's move on to item B, our city manager updates.
So I put this on there before I just put an update up the interviews because we had interviews, but
Want
we.
to go that first?
What's
Is that the update other than what you've sent us?
What's that?
Your city manager update is the interviews for treasurer.
Yeah.
You've sent out your other updates.
Yeah. So it's we've already selected somebody and you all got noticed on that. So I was just saying why that's on the agenda. So, and then to answer Dave's question on the warrants, that was a home that was never built. So it wasn't the same project that I was thinking it was, but they did it. They had a building permit and paid all the impact fees and then withdrew their building permit because they never built the home. So we
Okay, good.
refunded their, and then
Makes sense.
everybody should have got a notice of Laurie's retirement
Yes. It would be
shindig,
a
so,
celebration.
yeah. Just,
Or something.
it's a luncheon, yeah.
Oh,
It's in your box, so
Okay.
there's a flyer in your,
look at it. Oh,
in your box, so we're gonna wish her well and we're excited to welcome our new treasurer.
and what is his or her experience?
So she worked for Ogden and is currently working for North Ogden
Okay.
City in the finance department. So we had really good applicants. She was I think the only one that had actual city experience. So her understanding of the job really came through in her interview process. So at the next council meeting or she starts June 2nd. So we're, because it's treasurer, it's appointed by the mayor with the advice and consent of council. And so we're going to want to present her and yeah, is that the next meeting? Yeah, so June 9th is. And then Laurie's last day is the 16th, so when we appoint her, it'll probably be a date. What am I trying to say? So you'll appoint her as of like the 17th or something like that. Of the.
There's no meeting on the 26th of May.
Well, she doesn't start till June 2nd.
Okay. We'll get her here before we approve her. Or wait, can we do it on the 26th?
You could, but it would be nice if you met her.
Okay, that's a good point. The consent of the council, we gotta know who,
Presenter and.
yeah, who the person is. I'll
Yeah.
like that.
And so Laurie and the mayor and I did the interviews, so it went well.
How many applicants?
Um,
Yeah.
6.
well, we interviewed 6 and we had, I think, like 11 applicants. So, yeah, we had pretty good applications, so.
It's good, good report.
I think
Very
that,
good applicants.
yeah,
Hard decisions.
Any internal?
I don't know.
Okay, any more comments? This meeting's adjourned.
Right.
That's it.
Gary's getting out of here and it's not even dark.